Dave Roches is a professor at the Near East South Asia Center for Strategic Studies. And Dave, you're a former NATO Operations Director at the Joint Chiefs of Staff. You're joining us from Bethesda, Maryland. It's good to talk to you again. I wanted your reaction to this.
Well, I think it's to be expected. I would disagree slightly with your correspondent. I mean, it's clear that the Biden administration has not enunciated a strategy for victory in Ukraine. What we've seen is a pattern where the Ukrainians ask for a certain type of weapons. The Biden administration denies, and then agrees. In this instance, of course, the Ukrainians have been saying, look, in Kharkiv in particular, we're seeing tactical operations being run out of Russia into Kharkiv, firing artillery from Kharkiv that we cannot respond to with American weapons. And again, as with the provision of howitzers and ATACMS, eventually the Biden administration gives in. But there's another dynamic here, which is that the Ukrainians, with their own weapons, have been attacking Russia's nuclear infrastructure. So they just damaged the Krasnodar early warning radar with a domestically produced drone. That's very far within Russia. Early on this year, they attacked the strategic bombing base in Engels Air Base, which was the heart of Russia's airplane-delivered nuclear deterrent. So I think, paradoxically, allowing Russia or allowing Ukraine to strike within Russia within this limited tactical operation, the price for that is probably a cessation of Ukrainian strikes on the strategic capabilities of Russia, which would have the potential of increasing nuclear conflict.
Okay, well, that's interesting. The Biden strategy and the West more globally has been to strongly support Ukraine, but also do anything you can to avoid direct conflict with Russia. Now, when U.S. missiles, if they start landing on Russian soil, around that border area around Kharkiv, it's not direct conflict, but it is a little closer to direct conflict with Russia.
It is, but let's take Russia at their face value. They've said that Kharkiv, Zaporizhzhia, Donetsk, Luhansk, and Crimea are all Russia. They've formally incorporated even parts that they don't control. So technically, if you believe Russia's self-definition, American weapons, as well as other NATO partners, have been landing in Russia for some time now. So what's the difference between one Russian province and another? Look, from day one, Putin has threatened nuclear war, has reminded people of their nuclear capabilities, has conducted exercises, because he wants to be left in peace to pursue his imperial ambitions. And I think that he is not stupid, does not want a nuclear confrontation. And I think that by telegraphing this so quickly and so publicly, as your correspondent correctly noted, this is just a limited escalation that's confined to tactical operations directed at Ukraine. And they will cease when the operation against Ukraine ceases, I suppose.
And tactically, do you think this is enough to turn things around, right? Because the Ukrainian military has been on the back foot. Would this allow them to push back Russian forces or at least contain the Russian advance towards Kharkiv?
Well, Russia's not advancing much towards Kharkiv. What they seem to be doing is eliminating it with long-range artillery fire, and particularly the launch of air-launched glide bombs, which Ukraine has no effective counter for. Particularly, they're launched in Russian airspace. So if Ukraine is able to use things like the U.S. Patriot missile to threaten the aircraft that are launching these bombs towards Kharkiv from Russia, I think that will have the potential to dampen the Russian offensive considerably. But so far, we haven't seen a whole lot of maneuver in this offensive, this Russian offensive.
Dave Roches, thank you very much for your time and your insights today.
Thank you.